I think this is going to be a norm here. We're going to have these fires more often. My only advice for folks is put the work into your property to make sure that all you have to do is get in your vehicle and drive out of there. A lot of the houses that you saw survive here, that's exactly what they had, you know, defensible space. And unfortunately, a lot of the houses that we saw burn and structures we saw burn had very little defensible space, if none.
Help me help you. If I have room to get in and work and protect your property, I will. I can't risk lives of my firefighters to protect property, and it takes 22 people minimum is what we try to have on every structure fire. So when you have a wildland engine that doesn't have that equipment and only 3 people on it, then that's not a realistic expectation for them to do.
The Alaska Division of Forestry has the Forest Stewardship Program, which I manage, and we provide free technical assistance to private landowners, and that includes free site visits. We'll come out, meet with you one-on-one, talk about your forest management goals, what you can do to make sure that your forest remains healthy, especially in the face of the spruce beetle outbreak that we have going on. And we also do Firewise assessments for people. So we come bring a checklist, we look at your property, we add up a score of all the things that your property has that contribute to fire danger, and then give you that checklist with your fire danger rating, and then give you personalized recommendations on how to Firewise your property. So the first zone of defense that we talk about in this Firewise booklet is from 0 feet to 15 feet from the primary structure. That is one of the most critical zones to prevent embers or the advance of the advanced flaming front from impacting your house. What you don't want to see within this 0 to 15 foot zone are any spruce trees or any conifers. So this is a good example. There are no needle-bearing trees, no dead vegetation, nothing flammable stored in this area. And that's especially critical when you have wood siding or flammable siding on your house. It's also critically important if you have vents to have them screened with 1/8 inch screen that will prevent embers from entering that vent. And if you have exposed eaves, if you can have them covered up somehow, that is also important. When you have a wooden deck such as this one, this is a great example of enclosing the area underneath the deck so embers cannot find their way underneath that deck. If you're not able to enclose the deck such as this one, it's important not to store firewood, lawnmowers, or gas cans, or anything flammable underneath that deck where an ember could enter and ignite that material.
Yeah, a lot of the structures that burn because of the ember shower. It rains embers when these fires come. So if you have places where embers can accumulate underneath your house, wood piles up against your house, dryer vents, things like that, that's where the fire is going to start in your home and burn your home down.
You shouldn't store firewood within 30 feet of a structure. And this is just a fantastic example of what happens to a stack of dried, cured firewood and why you wouldn't want to have it within 30 feet of a structure. It is tempting to have firewood stored on your porch so you can just go grab it and take it inside. But when a fire comes through and that ignites, that is the last thing you want near your house. And here we have the natural forest. It's about 30 feet from the house. This is an ideal setting for this forest. It's mostly birch, a few scattered spruce. You can see if you look over here, there's a cluster of spruce trees growing together. That's acceptable as long as it's at least 30 feet from the house. You can start having those spruce trees growing naturally close together. If they're any taller, I would recommend pruning and perhaps thinning a few of them. Looking around here, you see hardwood species, which are naturally less flammable. We're standing in the yard, which is a good clear spot, 30 to 45 feet from the house over on this side. There's grass that's well maintained, well watered, growing all the way up next to the house. Non-flammable roofing materials such as this metal roof are usually the best to have for Firewise principles. If you have a wood roof or a cedar shake roof, it's important to keep it as clean as possible. No leaf debris or needle debris. Keep your gutters clean. Firefighter access. If a firefighter is going to be able to safely enter the property and defend it, they have to be able to get their apparatus in there. Now behind us we have this wide gravel turnaround area where pretty much any firefighting apparatus could enter, defend the property, and exit. It's also important to have the house address clearly listed from the street so firefighters and emergency personnel can view that house number and enter the property.
All these firefighters are really, really good at what they do, from the fire departments and from forestry. And but you know, we can't do in 20 minutes what you were supposed to do in 20 years. You know, that's the big saying, and that's the truth. And on these kind of fires, we're not going to have the ability to even attempt to save your home. We're only going to have the ability to try to save you and pull you out, you know, and help direct you out.